what happened there? And you didn't get any gossip from your colleagues from what was going on there?
I was aware that there was audits done on the contract, but to what extent the audit outcomes were, I'm not privy to that information.
Okay, and then at the National Treasury, did you encounter any outside interference in your work
No,
at all?
not at all.
Everyone is just scared of you.
Not necessarily scared of me. There has never been anybody that was bold enough to come and ask, and I would have exposed them if they did.
Okay. Let's go to your SAPS and then the Medicare tender. Do you know if these services that the Cat Nhlanhla was doing, the health risk management, has it always been outsourced by SAPS?
Yes.
Always. Do you think it's something that they should insource because it's a core service?
It's the determination that has to be done by the end user based on
You're using that end user again. I'm just asking that it's a core service of SAPS, am I correct? And it's probably it is in the top 5 tenders that SAPS puts tenders out for. And I'm just asking, do you think that this should be an insourced service that SAPS should do?
I do not have a scientific answer to it. I would not.
Is it a core service though that SAPS?
It's the core service. It is required. We hire people, we retire people. Yes, it is core.
Okay, and then the MTN and Vodacom tender, you were at SAPS during that period?
During that time.
And that went to court?
No, the one that went to court, I was not part of it when it was awarded. I came subsequently after that.
But it happened, okay, it happened when you were at the National Treasury, right?
That's right.
So you would have dealt with it, but you said you weren't in the transversal contract department.
Yep. The award of the tender to the 4 big mobile network operators included Cell C, Telkom, Vodacom, and MTN. And that award was done and audited. This was above board. The process of contracting with MTN was done at SAPS, and I was not part of that process, and I was not at SAPS at the time.
Let's talk about IDEC. We had the head of IDEC, Advocate Johnson, that was here, and she told us that she received the referral from SAPS to investigate this Medicare 24 allegations. So you were aware of that, or you are aware of that because you've indicated
I am
earlier.
aware of that now, yes.
So if the preliminary report, which you are familiar with, it was dated in January 2025, am I correct? And the complainant was referred to IDEC in February 2025. And then the final report is dated April 2025. Are we together on the dates?
Yes, we
So
are.
can we conclude that the complaint to IDEC was based on the preliminary report?
It's highly likely, yes.
Yeah. And is this common in your experience? Is this a common practice in your experience?
No, it's not normally the common practice. The National Commissioner, I think, with his office and internal audit, do the determination when to do the referrals, and they will respond based on information that's known to them. I'm not normally part of that referral process.
Okay, you said you had a meeting, or the minister called a meeting because he wanted to be briefed on the Medicare 24 tender. Who invited you to the meeting?
We normally get invited by the Office of the National Commissioner.
Normally, were you invited by the...
I was invited by the Office
Okay,
of the
so
National
you didn't
Commissioner.
have any engagements with the minister directly at all?
The minister was part of that meeting.
Well, in the meeting, but prior to that? But prior to the meeting, had you had any engagements whatsoever?
None
with the
whatsoever.
minister? Okay. Who was present from the minister's office?
The minister was there. I think his support staff was there.
Okay, was his chief of staff there in particular, Mr. Kabendi? And I'm sure you know him because he was just here the
No,
other
not
day.
the chief of staff. I'm trying to remember.
You don't know him?
I know Mr.
Oh,
Mkhwanazi.
okay, so was he there?
Yes.
Let's move on. He was there. And what was his input in the meeting?
He did not have any input at all.
Okay. In your experience, again, is this a common practice for ministers or deputy ministers to call supply chain officials to meetings and ask them to explain tender processes and also to review a tender process? Because you've got quite a long
No,
history.
it is not. It is not a norm. In fact, since I've been to SAPS, it was the first time that a meeting was called. As I've indicated, the minister at the time said he's worried about the reputation this contract would have, and he needed an explanation
So he was
or a
worried, but
briefing.
he said he was worried based on a media report. That's it. He didn't say there was anything else, just a
Yeah,
media report.
the media
and
report,
And
and-
he summoned the entire supply chain to come and explain and to also ask for it to be reviewed. How many meetings did you have with the minister?
One.
It was just one.
One.
So the second meeting, so in his testimony, he said that he had one meeting where he asked for an explanation.
Correct.
Then he asked for the process for you to go back and review.
Correct.
And then who went back? You didn't go back to
I didn't
him
go
after
back.
who went
No.
back in your knowledge, or how did it work?
It probably would be internal audit and legal because they were doing the work.
Okay. And then did you get any feedback after the meeting?
No, I didn't.
And then you said you did the presentation at the meeting, but at the same time you weren't really involved in this process. So how did you familiarize yourself with it to make the presentation?
I did not make a presentation.
Okay.
I was there present in the meeting and the question was asked and I spoke to the process, not a presentation. I spoke to the process
The
as I
process-
understood it at the time.
Okay, the process just generally for tenders or the process for this Medicare 24 tender in particular?
The process for Medicare tender specifically, what we have done, what reports were submitted, and that we have concluded the tender based on the bid evaluation committee reports.
And then you convinced the minister that there was nothing untowards because he told us that he was told initially that there was nothing untowards in the tender. That's why he sent you back to go and review this process and come back and give a report.
We have indicated to the minister that based on the report that we have received, we had not picked up anything. And in that meeting, a decision was made that we need to audit the report. We welcomed that,
So, Doug, you
request.
honestly didn't pick up anything, and this thing has blown up, and there's just so much that should have been picked up. So, did you properly prep to do this presentation? Because at your level, during your process of prepping to go and do the presentation or whatever it is you were doing to the minister or engage the minister on it, you yourself didn't pick up anything.
With all honesty, no. And in the
Don't
meeting,
think that's troubling, though. Wow.
we are concerned, I have indicated.
No,
that-
you though, because
No,
you're
me,
the one
I am
who's in charge
concerned.
there, that you went there and you were like in your suit and say, no, this thing is proper. Like there's nothing untowards. We did the right thing. So it's either you didn't do your job properly, and then that is a concern in of itself, or what happened, or you were misled. And then even if you were misled by your subordinates, it's a problem.
The BAC actually was misled because the report had indicated that all due diligence was done. And that's where I have a concern. And that's why I have indicated to my team that they need to go and redo the process and redo this standard operating procedures to make sure that we arrest and pick up these issues.
Yeah, but
And
I'm
they are
saying-
defining that now.
I'm saying that's what you say now, but when you went to present, because you would have had to prep to go and explain that this process was proper, you didn't pick it up. And you should be concerned about that. Let's go on to your relationship with Petuna Linono. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, who was one of the members on the bid committee and then later left to go and join Medicare 24.
No relationship.
But she's on this bid committee. You don't know her officially, like nothing. Never met her, never spoken to her. Aren't you supposed to? I mean, there was one of the honorable members asked about integrity and whether you vet, well, not vet them per se, but are you not responsible for ensuring that you have sound and incorruptible members?
Like other members that were on the committee, I knew her as a colleague, as an employee in human resources, and that's as far as I have known her.
Okay, so when you found out about her role in this matter, what happened?
Her role in matter is post facto.
Yeah, that's what
and that matter was dealt with in the investigation by the internal audit.
Just let's talk about you, because she's under you, am I correct?
No, she's not under
Or
me.
she doesn't report to
No,
you?
she doesn't report to me.
Let's move on. Have you played any role in, since you've been or started your career, and particularly in government, have you played any role in any corrupt activities?
In the time that I have been in government, I have never had any irregular expenditure.
I'm not asking, that's not the question.
No.
Have you played any
No.
role in any corrupt activities?
No.
Unknowingly, and then later you realize, like, you, I'm being used here
No.
to aid corruption.
No.
So, okay. Have you been vetted since joining SAPS?
Yes.
When was this?
I'm awaiting. I need to do polygraph. I was meant to have done it before I went on college, and then my vetting will be complete.
So you've been in SAPS like for 3 years, and
For 3 years, yeah.
holding a very, very high position, even a very dangerous one, and the vetting process is still not complete.
It's not complete.
Have you had a lifestyle audit?
I believe that General Matlu and them have done a lifestyle.
Have you had one?
Yes.
You've had one.
General Matlu has indicated to me at some
Have
point
you
that
had one?
Yes.
Yes, you have. When
Yes.
was it?
maybe a year ago or two.
And? Did you get the results?
She said there's nothing.
There was nothing. Did you get the results? Not what did she say? Did you
We-
get? Like,
we-
who did the lifestyle audit, rather? Let me ask you that.
The Office of Ethics and Integrity does the lifestyle audit
Yeah.
of all members in SAPS.
Okay.
If there are adverse findings, they will then let you know
Okay.
that there are adverse findings. But if there are no adverse findings, they don't give you any report.
And this was done?
I would love to believe that it was done a year or so ago.
But what do you mean you'd love to believe? Because for them to do a lifestyle audit, they have to engage you in some way, check your bank accounts, blah, blah, blah. It's a process.
No, they don't. They by virtue of them being there, they get the information and they do the lifestyle audit.
But where do they get the information from? They didn't ask you any questions at
No.
all.
No.
Is that the actual process?
No, nothing was asked.
So then that means you haven't had a lifestyle audit.
It probably could be.
No.
No, let me put it this way. I've had a discussion with General Matlu with regards to performance of lifestyle audits. And General Matlu has indicated that lifestyle audit and SAPS have been done. And she has indicated that for those members where they have picked up an anomaly, they have engaged those. Hence, I am saying...
Were you included in that, do you know? Because she could have been talking about other people and not necessarily you.
I would love to...
Because the National Commissioner said they haven't concluded lifestyle audits yet alone. They haven't concluded vetting yet alone lifestyle audits.
Yes, sir.
So I'm very shocked to hear that. But
On-
okay,
on-
let's move on there.
Cool.
So you were appointed to SAPS in 2022. The last 2 financial years, we've had a total of almost 1 billion in irregularities on procurement of goods and services. You know that, right? In 2023 and 2024 financial year, it was just over 289 million. And then, whooped, it went up to 649 million in the 2024-25 financial year. So I know you've said that you've never had a tender cancelled before, and this Medicare one was the first time. But procurement irregularities, how do you rate yourself in this regard? It's scary. For the average South African there at home,
the irregularities that the irregular expenditure that is on that irregular expenditure framework are mainly as a result of this Medicare and RT69.
okay, but it's a lot, don't you?
It's a lot. May I just qualify something? The RT69 is not a tender that was done by us as SAPS. It is a tender that was done by National Treasury, and that tender is not irregular. What SAPS did was SAPS did not utilize the tender after they had indicated that they will participate. So all the expenditure that happened outside that contract were declared irregular, but the contract itself is not irregular.
Are you listening to yourself, though, General?
I am.
Yeah. And the whole nation is listening to you.
Correct.
So the tender is not, that's proper, but the actual spending was not, I mean, and I guess you're going to give me the same story that you gave one of my honorable members. Are you the Divisional Commissioner for Supply Chain and Assets for SAPS? Is it the best? Are you the best? Are you who South Africans deserve right now?
I would love to believe yes.
No, but are you? Because you can see the state of our country right now. Do you think you are who we deserve as South Africans right now? I mean, we just spoke about irregular. I mean, you did a disclaimer. But even if it was 1 million or 2 million, it says a lot. It's irregular expenditure.
I cannot be just judged by one indicator, which is significant though.
Oh.
I would like to believe that I have done an immense amount of work in making sure that South African Police Service procurement is all right. I am putting effort into the irregular expenditure process, which is the only indicator in my performance at the moment, which is troublesome. But in fact, in all other areas of procurement, I have improved SAPS. For an example, SAPS used to build 1 police station a year. I have been, in the last 3 years, building in excess of 15 police stations.
And how many do we need? Okay, let's move on. It's fine if you who South Africans deserve to head up that department. And I'm going to conclude now, and I want to talk about this issue of tenders. I'm sure South Africans are sitting, and those that are watching here, this whole tender process, it's like, what the actual? It's a lot. And it is the reason for, it opens, just listening to it's even blowing my head up. So I can just imagine for the ordinary South Africans. It's the door is wide open for corruption. I mean, even if a company's tender is awarded fairly, we have the issue that pretty much the costs are doubled. Do you procure toilet paper for SAPS? Does SAPS procure toilet paper, not you in particular?
Yes, they do. That SAPS procure toilet paper?
Toilet paper, yes.
Yes, we do.
And that is our point. So a normal person goes and we spend 5 rand on toilet paper, I'm saying, and after you even buy it in bulk, and I'm sure the toilet paper costs 100 rand a roll. But the point I'm trying to make here is that you've been in the space for long enough. There are core services, and I asked this earlier, there are core services of state departments that should be insourcing, that they should be building state capacity. Because outside of the corruption that it causes, we even have a problem that children die in pit toilets, and this is not under your watch, but I'm saying just generally as a country, because we cannot even do a basic thing like doing a proper toilet for kids. They are dying in pit toilets. People are dying in hospitals just because of a tender system. We had a whole PKTT team that's established to deal with political killings because people are killed, politicians are killed, CFOs are killed because of tenders. So they're either killing to get a tender or they're killing because they don't want the corruption in their tenders that are done. So what would you say? Okay, Chair, I'm done because this is more of just a political speech.
I want you to stop speaking.
Yeah, I'm done. But I just wanted
Yeah.
the gentleman with his vast experience to speak to the
If
process
both of you can just
of us
stop speaking.
getting rid of this tender process for core
Yeah.
services, and that we must insource and strengthen government entities, and we probably wouldn't be sitting here today dealing with an issue of a Medicare 24
Yeah.
tender when SAPS
You-
could have long built
Honorable
an efficient
Matthys, I
system.
no
Thank
longer
you,
hear
Chair.
you. You have stopped speaking. Can we move to Honorable James?
Thank you, Chair. I'm still laughing at the reason for all the toilet paper in SAPS. We know why. I'll reserve my thoughts. General Fani, earlier on you said poor performance but value for money. Do you still believe that? Poor performance but value for money. You are justifying poor performance. And I was thinking about this. It's like saying, I have a cheating husband, but he's providing. Does that make it right?
It's not right. Chair, maybe for what I should have said, which based on the discussion with honorable members, I should have indicated that we paid for the services, so money did not disappear. But in terms of value for money, we have done the determination. It's not me that said there was no value for money. It is the person that did the determination, and that report is available in the for committee members to interrogate it. But indeed, poor performance we have experienced.
Okay. Before I get into my question, it's just something that I picked up now. The minister only ever called you in for the Medicare 24 contract. Nothing else. Nothing else. And because that had surfaced in the media. No other contracts.
Nothing whatsoever.
So before this contract, there was nothing else in the media that popped up.
Nothing else.
That would have grabbed his attention or grabbed your attention that would sort of have an urgent meeting.
I have never been called by the minister or his office pertaining to issues of procurement.
So even though in March 2025, and I just came across this now, there's a headline, accused appear in court for over 88 million tender fraud in SAPS. That was also an article. Are you aware of that article?
I'm aware of that article.
You're aware, but the minister didn't worry about that. Because it appeared in the same platform, public domain. The minister didn't worry about that. He didn't call you in about that.
I was never called in.
But specifically the Medicare one. Doesn't that make you wonder why? Why did the minister only have interest? If he was worried about SAPS's image, shouldn't he have called you in for that other article as well? What do you think? Common sense. And now?
It's reputational damage. It's equally
Yes,
important.
but it's very simple.
Yeah.
Why were you taking so long to answer now? Should the minister not have called you in for anything else that surfaced in the public domain?
What the practice that he has established to call us when there is anything of possible reputation, yes, he probably should have
But he
called us
didn't.
for this one. No, he didn't call us.
Okay. General Fani, you have served as the Divisional Commissioner since August 22, right?
Correct.
Okay. In your witness statement, you state that during your time at SAPS, there have been no arrest for procurement corruption, which you say indicates that all audited and investigated tenders yielded no element of corruption. Is this correct? So no arrests during your time?
I have indicated there's only one arrest that was done for a procurement matter that was concluded before I was at SAPS. For all the procurement that happened under my watch, there has not been anyone arrested.
And this basically means that everything is hunky-dory.
Not necessarily.
Everything's fine.
It's a commitment I've made with my team to make sure that we clear issues and we ensure that we do due diligence. There are challenges that we are experiencing and we need to deal with those challenges. But that commitment I made on day one when I arrived at SAPS, and I'm going to make sure that the people that work in my space do what is required so that we can avert such issues in the future.
But it doesn't mean everything is fine. The fact that you
No,
have
it doesn't
no
mean
arrest
it-
doesn't mean
No, no,
everything
no.
is fine.
Not at all.
Like you indicate and like
Not
you
at all.
insinuate in your paragraph.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean everything is fine, no.
Yeah. At the end of paragraph 75, you go on to say that you are aware that the audit findings in the audit reports remain a concern and should be eliminated. You also describe these so-called concerns and errors as unnecessary and unwelcomed. Serious allegations of fraud, corruption, and you describe them, you water it down as unnecessary and unwelcome. Is that your evidence?
It's not an evidence, it's a statement.
Is that how you describe corruption? Is that how you describe corruption?
No. I'm describing the process.
When the AG came before Parliament and raised the alarm about SAPS's escalating 3.2 billion irregular expenditure bill, while unsuitable bidders secured tenders, what went through your mind as the head of supply chain?
It's a concern that I have, basically to indicate that even irregular expenditure that happened 5 years before I joined the SAPS is the reason why it's accumulating to the value that it is. What we need to be doing is to intensify our efforts to making sure that we have an engagement with National Treasury for condonation of these, so that the tally on irregular expenditure can be kept. But the most important thing is to make sure that we do not have further irregular expenditures in the process.
So it's just doubling and tripling, despite what you have inherited. You haven't done anything about your inheritance. You just say, you know what, this was before my time.
No, I have.
There's been no arrests.
With regards to,
All this irregular expenditure, the 3.2 billion, you said earlier on there's been no arrests.
the ones that where the determination tests were done and were concluded in my presence, there has not been any arrests with regards to those. The determination test is not done by my department, is done by independent department, and in those independent departments, they have not detected any element of criminality. Should they have detected elements of criminality, they would have raised the necessary arrests with regards to that. One contract which was concluded and it was irregular, which was concluded before my time, is the one where the people ended up being arrested a couple of weeks back.
I want to ask you also about the AG's material findings regarding awarded bids during the 2024-2025 financial year. Are you aware that the AG stated in her report to Parliament that SAPS has not implemented adequate internal controls to prevent irregular expenditure, and that this exposes the department to financial mismanagement and non-compliance? I think you answered this earlier on.
I'm aware.
You are aware, and what
Yes.
have you done about it?
We have put in processes in place. I think in that committee, we have National Commissioner has indicated. We have processes in place that we're going to do. I had indicated earlier on that we have set in August and we have devised plans to make sure that there's no further irregular expenditure that happens in the process.
Is one of those processes having a criminal check?
It will, definitely.
It will. You
Yes.
didn't have access to that prior to this. So the AG had to have findings, and only now you're going to utilize the tools that's at your disposal. There was no forward thinking, there was no being proactive prior to the Auditor General's findings.
I think we were selective in the application
You
of
were
that.
selective.
And we need to now subject all of them to that criminal check.
And South Africans can trust you in this job.
They can.
So you depend on the Auditor General to tell you that something's going wrong, despite you finding great irregularities and inconsistencies, you wait for the AG to tell you that this is what you need to do?
The AG reported on the irregular expenditure. We had already engaged in the process to make sure that we deal with the issues, and we have also engaged on the process to engage National Treasury for the condonation of those processes. And it is a process that we will finalize, and I think my team is working on that. I will follow up when I come back to make sure that all the condonation processes are concluded, and that the processes we are putting in place now are going to bear fruits as we are envisaging that they would.
Let's discuss specifics, right? And my throat is a bit sore today. We're actually very lucky. Regarding the tender awarded to, I think it's Fani. Do you recall why the AG found the same bidders were unfairly disqualified and that functionality criteria were omitted?
Remind me which
The tender awarded to Rufani, I think it's 191939. The AG found that some of these bidders were unfairly disqualified. Have you ever had that? Where bidders were unfairly disqualified?
it rings a bell.
It rings a bell. Why
Yes.
were the bidders? Why do you think there's these scenarios?
We are again at the issues of bid evaluation committee. Honorable Chair, I must indicate the bid evaluation committees are bringing us into a position of disrepute, and we have put processes.
Under your watch? Yeah?
Not necessarily under my watch. Yes, there has been one or two contracts under my watch, but most of them are historic in terms of the irregularity. Honorable Chair, I have inherited, and I will continue to make sure that we iron out the processes and the issues that leads us into irregular expenditure, and we have started the process with that regards.
There seems to be a lot that you're going to do after this appearance here today.
Yes.
But that's good. Regarding the horse truck conversion tender, do you recall why the AG found that the winning bidder did not meet the pre-qualification criteria?
Is
Is this simply another error, or
Yeah.
you say an
Correct.
unwelcomed error,
correct?
unnecessary error?
Correct.
Sure. You served as the acting chief procurement officer at National Treasury for a year. Is that
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
What is the minimum period required for the advertisement of a tender? You said this earlier.
21 days,
21
legislated
days.
to be 21 days.
Regarding the Medicare 24 tender, right? The AG flagged that the tender awarded to Kat Nhlanhla was not advertised for the required 21 days. And this despite you being in National Treasury for over a year. And the AG said it was not advertised for 21 days. And that evaluation phase was ignored. When was the bid advertised and published on the SAPS website?
We do have the chronological issues here. The bid was published on the 31st of January,
That's correct. When did it close?
and it closed on the 19th.
Is that 21 days?
It is 20 days.
Is that 21 days?
It's not 21 days.
I'm saying that this was one of the irregularities found by the AG.
Correct. The bid should have been advertised for 21 days. It is an
Exactly.
administrative error.
So you can't say here and make it seem as if though I'm incorrect. 21 days is not 20 days.
I have considered that it
Yes,
is
you
not
had to
21
consider.
days.
It took you a moment, a few seconds now. Because you almost wanted to make me look like a fool here by saying it, no, it was like almost like thinking what else. 21 days is 21 days. And it closed early.
The insinuation that I was trying to make the member to look like a fool, I have considered already that it was not advertised for 21 days, but for 20 days.
What was so urgent? What was the emergency?
There was none.
Why did you have to close a day early?
There was none. There was no reason for it to be closed early.
What did you do about this? Who was held accountable for this?
I have indicated, Honorable Chair, that the National Commissioner has asked us to put everything in abeyance until the forensic investigations are done. I can't take action now, but action will be taken for
Why
sure.
can't you take action now? It has already been identified. This has gone public. It's in the media. It's all over. What are you waiting for to take action? What must happen?
Honorable Chair, we have been advised to put everything in abeyance, and I have responded to that.
The AG also flagged the award of the panel of service providers, finding that one awarded bidder did not meet the minimum functionality score, but was not disqualified, and that there were inconsistencies between advertised evaluation criteria and those applied during adjudication. Is this merely another unwelcomed error?
Correct.
The AG's report further recorded that bid evaluation committee members lacked training. Oh, so many members said this earlier on, and did not exercise due diligence. Can you confirm that everyone serving on the BEC and the bid adjudication committee is qualified and possesses the requisite skills and experience? I think I heard you answering this earlier on, but I want to put it on record again.
The bid evaluation committee is not a standing committee. It is a committee that gets put together for each need or for each tender. And for that, we are requesting that the end users nominate adequately qualified. We explicitly do indicate to sit in these committees. So there's not one bid evaluation committee. There's
So the fact that
multiple
they're not
bid-
qualified, that's the end user's sort of responsibility to ensure. That's not part of your scope of work.
The determination of the flow of and the exhibit of knowledge of the processes should be adequately determined by the chairperson as he conducts the evaluation.
And this is not in your department.
It is in my
This
department.
is outside. But
That-
it's not you. You're not responsible. You're not going to take accountability for this.
No, I have taken
You are
accountability.
blame shifting. You keep on
No.
telling us about.
No, I'm not. I have taken accountability for checking up the knowledge of the bid evaluation committee and any other possible member. That's why I have contacted National Treasury, and National Treasury referred us to National School of Government, and we are engaging in making sure that everybody is checked up in terms of the bid evaluation committees.
I put it to you today. Do you think that you, as the head of this department, do you think you lack some streetwise, I don't know how to say this, because you are in there and it's almost as if though you are walking with your head in the sand. Everything is going on around you and you continue as if though nothing is happening in that department and everything is fine.
Honorable Chair, I need to fine-tune my processes and find out any additional processes that will close my blind
My
spots.
final question. So do you accept institutional responsibility for repeated supply chain management failures since you have joined SAPS in August 2022?
By virtue of my position, I would say it is my responsibility to make sure that there are no audit findings that pertain to procurement processes. And in instances where members of the bid evaluation committee that has transgressed knowingly or unknowingly, we deal with those matters as they are investigated. I cannot solely take responsibility for errors that are committed in my lies. I cannot take accountability for any errors that were criminal in nature. But I do take cognizance with regards to the gaps that exist in the process, and I need to close those gaps.
Thank you, General. You have failed the accountability test. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Are you passing a judgment, Honorable James, when we call you Judge James?
No, I'm not, Chair, but in accountability, it's never the general. There's so much happening in that department. It's actually sad.
Okay. Who is the next speaker? We are now left with the last three speakers. Can I see the first speaker to raise a hand and I recognize him or her? You want to start, Honorable Shongwe? Okay. Chief Whip, you understand. Thank you.
Ngaxolisa chief whip ngisabheke eGoli chief whip and ngihamba ngebhasi angithi uyazi. Sawubona mfo. Uyaphila general?
Sawubona bhuti.
Uyaphila?
I'm all right, Honorable Chair. Thank you.
Uyaphila. Hey, uphethe isibongo sakaMlife, abantu bakwaMlife amaTswana. Uphinde uphethe igama isibongo futhi seXhosa, samaXhosa, Fani.
Utikela, thank you.
UngumXhosa?
Tatam ngumXhosa.
Uyathetha?
Yathetha 80%.
Hayi asike sithethe okukhomsha manje hey. Ungiphatha kakuhle. Nansi yabona ndinengqimi yabona. Nansi ingqimi apha kum. Asithethishe mfondini. Into ithi dada apha kum. If
Honorable Chair, either English or Afrikaans. My mother speaks Afrikaans, so English would be correct. Thank you.
awu Mkhwana. Sorry, I didn't get that.
I'm saying either English or Afrikaans. My mom is also Afrikaans, so
Where did you grow up?
my mom is Kalata.
Work Afrikaans
I was born and brought up in Sasolburg, in
So
Free
you start
State.
Afrikaans, Alfred.
Ek praat via goed Afrikaans.
So salons praat Afrikaans.
If you can.
Yara, ayen, kom bly hier.
Don't just use Honorable Member aid to blow. It will lose the meaning. Thank you, Honorable
No
Chair.
problem.
English, if we
Thank
can.
you. I want to know something. I didn't pick up kahle in the early stages of actually when you started. You said you're a qualified engineer. I didn't pick up anything speaking related to finances and stuff like that. Are you qualified in finances?
I have studied finance up to master's level.
To master's level?
I have done finance in the programs up to master's level. Yes.
Oh, okay. No,
In my BCom, in my MCom program, I also did finance master's program.
All right. I think I want you to relax and understand that since we've started in this committee, our aim is to get to the truth so that it assists us,
Correct.
not to get somebody to maybe lie to us or omit certain things.
Correct.
And on that note, Chair, I would like to address you, Chair, if I may be permitted. You normally open, Chair, and say people who speak here are protected by their parliament privileges and stuff like that. You also say anything they say cannot be used against them. I notice AfriForum has these Paulo Sullivan tendencies of threatening people. They said they're going to open a case against Unkabinde, who spoke here in Parliament. So, Chair, I need you to help me on that one. Uti, what does that really mean when we say whatever we say here cannot be used against you? Because it doesn't help our people like General Fani. You be afraid to kulumala. Ngoba so kulumi qiniso manje. General, do you know about a blue light case signed between SCM Division and a company in Gauteng province for the supply of blue lights and siren for the police vehicles in Gauteng around November 2016?
The case was in the media, and I am aware of that case.
Were you briefed internally?
Come again?
Were you briefed internally in the division?
In the division,
Yes.
supply chain.
Yes?
Not briefed per se,
But you know about
but I know about the case.
What processes were followed in the awarding of that contract for the blue light in Gauteng?
The procurement process has changed since I came in, as a result of the court ruling that indicated that the finance minister has overreached his accountability or authority. The processes that were prevalent at that time are unknown to me, so I cannot vouch to them.
But do you know that there were any irregularities in awarding of that contract?
It has been indicated in the media that it was irregular, hence the people were arrested. I am aware of it.
Just what you know, what are those, if you may enlighten me?
The outcome of that had indicated that the people behaved unethically in the award of the tender, and those people were charged. Some of them were in procurement. When I got there, they were transferred out of the department, and I stayed with the vacancies as a result of those transfers. And some of them were discharged in service, and that's as far as I know with regards to that matter.
Do you happen to know how long ago, maybe?
You had indicated it was 2018.
2016?
And yeah,
2016.
but I do know
From
about it.
2016.
Yes,
And the matter has not been resolved till now.
the matter has not been resolved.
Wouldn't you suspect something is wrong there? Why do we take so long to, if there is something that is corrupt, why do we take so long to get to the gist of the matter or understand who was wrong and get that matter finalized?
Once the matter goes to litigation, the matter is then handled by Legal Services Litigation Department. They are dealing with that matter on behalf of South African Police Service.
Are you saying to me that there is no way to really tell whether there was corruption done there, or it's just a thumb-sucking issue where you can just take a chance? Or is it a way of victimizing black business people?
Honorable Chair, I would not vouch that there was corruption. In fact, Honorable Chair, I would even indicate that I am not privy to the documentation that led to the charges and the dismissal of the people. I am aware, though, that such a matter is still in court.
You know, this business person once complained that, in fact, it's a popular knowledge that regarding this case, there were no white or Indian or any race except for a black person who was targeted for this matter. And there were allegations that there was money being solicited from him in a way. For example, the two cases that Mr. Sissoko, the two dockets that Mr. Sissoko took when he was at IPIT, he still has them at IDEC, the two cases of that matter. Since I've told you about that matter, what are you going to do about it to help our black business people who are being targeted for having huge tenders?
The requirement for making sure that the procurement process is fair and equitable rests with me. That's why I have indicated earlier on that if we knew at the time of the evaluation and adjudication that Kate Matlala's had controversial issues, we would have evaluated the tender and only subjected to legal services had he been the winner of the tender. So that on its own is to ensure that the procurement process is fair and that any irregularities we deal with in terms of the support that we get from legal services to make sure that the exclusion or the reason for deviation from awarding the Medicare 24 would have been justifiable. That is to ensure that the process is fair in terms of what we are doing. And I'm also making sure when we do the bid specifications and stuff that the issues of competition commission are put into the process so that we do not have specifications that run perpetually favoring one supplier. I have questioned a number of suppliers